Jefferson said, "I finally got my piece of the pie."
That's right, and he did.
And he understood that getting your piece of the pie was important. Today, African Americans are not getting their piece of the pie. Doc, we're divided. We're divided so that just recently here in Hinds County, we had an African American man by the name of Lee Bush that presented a bid for garbage collection in Hinds County that was $11 per household, about 17,000 households in the county. And his price was $11. Waste Management's price was some $16 and change per household. The 5 African American county supervisors voted unanimously to give the contract to Waste Management over the black man. Doc, how is that even remotely possible in 2023 in a county that's 80+% black?
Well, you can see, Mr. Socrates, that it's not impossible. And how is it possible? Because when you have contracts, it's very simple. And you know, I like to make things simple. When you are bidding on a contract and you want to be the person that receives the bid, you have to get with the people that will vote before the vote. You have to meet with them. You have to promise them something. You have to show and tell them through your paperwork and verbally that my product is better even though I'm charging more. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what those presenters are going to be saying. Mr. Supervisor, do you understand what I'm saying? Even though you were saved $50,000 or $500,000 going elsewhere, but I've been here a long time. I have made millions of dollars. I have some of the best equipment, some of the best people. And if you give me the contract, I guarantee you, you won't have anything to worry about. That's all they have to say.
Well, I think it's unimaginable that if, you know, we had a county that was 80% Hispanic, that we would not have a Hispanic company picking up the trash. It's unimaginable that if you were 80% European, that you wouldn't have a European company picking up the trash. And so we continue to see this kind of foolishness. We saw it once at the city of Jackson when we had this great debacle about a black man's ability to pick up the trash over waste management. So much until we had trash on the streets because the mayor of Jackson, Mayor Chokwe Antal Lumumba, said that Richards Disposal was the lowest bidder and he was not going to award the contract to anyone other than the low bidder because he said that was what the law required him to do. Instead, our council people would not vote to award the contract to Richards Disposal Service, and so the impasse came down to the point that no one picked up the trash in Jackson, Mississippi. Garbage was on the streets lying throughout the entire city. And the courts had to step in, white men had to step in and say to the Negroes that specifically to the council, that you don't have the authority to choose a contractor. And so that fight is going on now. Even though Richards was given a 1-year contract to pick up the garbage, and he's done an outstanding job. Here recently, as early as last month, the new RFP went out for a garbage collector contract. A new RFP is on the streets right now at the city of Jackson to choose a new vendor to pick up the garbage. Well, the black man is doing a wonderful job. He's picking up the garbage every day and everybody loves it. But we find ourselves, because of the divide in our people, the mayor and the council inability to come to the right conclusion, which the right conclusion is, as the mayor said, if 85% of your people in your city is left-handed, you ought to have some left-handed jobs. It just makes good common sense. Jackson is an 85% black city. A black man ought to be picking up the garbage. What is wrong with that? Who can't see that? And we'll have all kinds of offhanded remarks made by council people, African Americans, that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, it is broke if you got 85% of your people are black and white people continue to pick up all of the trash. That's as broke as you ever gonna get it. It's one of the largest contracts that Jackson has to offer. It's a prize contract. And so we fight in that fight with African Americans, black people against black people. No white people can be seen as an invisible hand that's there, I'm sure, but you can't really see it. So we're fighting about that in the city. And then just last week, a local black man, Lee Bush, presented his proposal to pick up the trash in the county. He was denied. A unanimous vote by the Board of Supervisors to award the contract to White Waste Management, a firm that doesn't need this contract. $1 billion, multi-billion-dollar firm. They're not trying to get up off the ground. They're not trying to move up from the east side. They're not trying to get their piece of the pie. They're just stomping out the opportunities for any small vendor that's trying to move into their territory. They spend a lot of money on somebody to make that happen. And it's time out. This brings me to the point of this division. Dr. Henderson, you showed me an article.